Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Lorcana Cookout. Man, we are tired. We are jet lagged. We just came from the first ever Ravensburger slash PPG CCQ tournament, and we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the good. We got to talk about maybe a few great stuff, the bad, and obviously we have some ugly going on. So tune in. It's gonna be a good one, and welcome to the Lorcana Cookout.
Yeah, guys. So, like Hector said, most of us left on or arrived on Thursday, and we were there till Sunday. Majority of us flew back Sunday night, a late flight. I didn't get home till like literally almost 2:30 in the morning. So, um, yeah. So we're a little bit tired. Honestly, we probably all slept like 4 hours each day. I don't know why we do that, but that's what we did. But yeah, let's talk about the experience. I mean, at the end of the day, I did have fun, but we'll get into it a little bit more. You want to start off, Hector, or would you like me to start it off?
We're starting out with the good.
Yeah.
You guys started off.
Okay.
Anyways, hopefully my dog stops barking.
All right. So for me, I mean, the good, honestly, it was cool because um, a lot of the cookout and TCG was there, so it was cool being like almost literal the full team. I think the only people we were missing was Danny and Mike. So that was pretty cool. Cookout wise too, I mean Ethan, Hector, me, and James were there. So the only ones we were missing were, I mean, we're missing a few. We're missing Danny, Eddie, and Carlos. But you guys, Carlos has been MIA, so it is what it is. So it was cool hanging out with everybody again. Honestly, like those B and B trips and like these trips, is super cool, man. Like I don't know, I had a really fun experience like just in that in general. As far as the tournament, I mean, I didn't do as great as I wanted to. Friday, I think I finished. Um, what was it? Four. It was 7 rounds, technically eight. So it was 4-3-1. That's eight, right? Yeah, 4-3-1. I was alive till round five, but I ended up losing two games back to back. So that for sure took me out. On Saturday, having a great run. Honestly, I feel like the universe was literally trying to give me the top, and I still said, "Nah, I'm good." Messed up. I think it was round seven. I think. No, it was earlier than that. It was like six. I just did the dumbest thing I could have ever done. Big misplay. And the funny thing, it was a little ink decision that basically cost me the whole game. Um, and honestly, I wasn't that upset at anyone. I mean, obviously, it shouldn't be. It's my fault. But I was still like in a good mood. I don't know what it was, but I just thought it was funny that the universe was like, I literally felt like the universe was like, here, bro, here's a plate, here's your plate, take the top, and I was like, nah, I'm good, I'm full. Um, and yeah, so I think on Saturday I ended with the X2 record, so 9 rounds, 7-2, and then Sunday I almost crashed out because I played two window boxes, missed turn two ramp, all those two games, or I lost both in round one. Um, so all those games went to game three. So there were six matches I played, and out of the matches I played, I missed turn two ramp three out of those six matches. So literally 50-50. I was playing Burple all weekend. So I don't know. I was like, all right, James, let's play test for a little bit, see if I keep drawing like booty. And I did. Eventually, it wore off, and I went to go play another winning box, and I took it down. So there's that. But as far as a good experience, it was a good experience for me. Obviously, there is some bad, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But you go ahead, James.
Um, for the good experience, um, it's cool, traveling with all everybody, the Airbnb trips are probably like the favorite because you got all the people. We're all here for the same reason. It's fun to like chat, play the game, discuss, and just like relax, get food, music, chill. So that's how I look at those trips. Is like, oh, you're out with the boys. And as far as the gameplay, I mean, I had a good time overall both days. Um, Friday I went 5-2 of the real 7 rounds. Um, Round 6 I was in contention for top 16. I played against Thiago. We went to game 3. I was on blue green. I needed to see under the sea. I just didn't see it. Um, but that was cool. He's a good player, and it was fun chatting with him. And then Saturday, my record ended up being 6-2 and 1 draw. Um, that day, I couldn't decide what deck to play, so we just rolled the dice, and it came up as Blurble. So I built the list. Shout out to Karan from Top Choice for loaning me 2 Dumbos since I only had 2. Um, but yeah, that was fun as well. Also content like round 9, contention for top 16. If I didn't split, but we'll get into that more later. Um, but yeah, that one was a long day for sure. Hector.
Yeah, I had a good amount of good. It's always cool, we with the boys, and then be pretty much, um having a great time, eating together, testing together. Although I still regret testing the night before because it led to me doing horrible on Friday. I still believe that was a big part. But I had a amazing time. I had a lot of fun. I should have put it. They had done like the bounty for me, so that was pretty cool, right? The bounty was also an awesome experience. I got to be on stream. I don't even know if to put that in the good or the bad because that thing's a curse, man. I cannot win on stream. It's just horrible, dude. So I lost on stream, but I mean, it was still a great time. Got to talk to JDZ, all the boys that I are kind of from far away that I don't get to talk to very often. Got to be on the interview. It was a little cool stuff, got to see some Blue Steel community members. So we, chatted up and stuff like that. It's always a great time. I think the bounty experience I think was made it really like kind of special for me this one time, this whole weekend, because I was a bounty all 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe. No, I was Saturday and Sunday, not Friday. But yeah. But yeah, it was cool. And then they gave me the I don't know if you guys checked it out. They gave this like bounty player mat. So it was kind of like a thing. They let us keep it. I mean, I think they let us keep it. I took it. I don't know. Pro Play Summit, But yeah, it was a great time. Uh, I had like 60-70% of an amazing time there. But we can talk about kind of that 30% and all that stuff when we get there. But I had a great time seeing a lot of you guys. And then I know some things were not everyone's fault. So yeah. Also,
Yeah,
I took Blue Steel Allies. I took Blue Steel Allies on Friday, and I took Blue Steel Tall, like the ramp version on Saturday, guys. But
and he gave in.
yeah,
He played Blurple on Sunday. Don't leave
and
it
then I
out.
played Purple on Sunday. So I played all the 3 decks. I played all of my 3 decks. There you go.
Yeah, so I just want to shout out because this is a highlight of our weekend. And in case people don't know, I mean, this is the Lorcana Cookout. It's like just a little podcast we do amongst friends that Hector created. I think we've explained it before, but a majority of us in this podcast are Top Choice Gaming sponsored, and we did pick up 2 new players. Grateful to have them. Obviously, one of them is a Cookout member, Ethan, and then the other one is Adam Tetlow. For anyone local, you guys already know him. He terrorizes our scene with Amber Steel Aggro. And big shout out to him because I think he finished top 8 or top 4 on Friday. Was it top 8 or top 4? Can't remember. I think it was top 8, right? I think he lost his first
Yeah, he went
match.
to top 8
Yeah,
on Friday
yeah.
event. Yeah, I did too.
So he did make top 8 on Friday, and then our very own sponsor um, outperformed us. Karan, give him a shout out. He made top 8 as well, right? Top 8. I think he lost top 8. Yeah, he lost top 8.
No,
No, he
he
lost top
lost. He
16.
lost. He lost in top 16
Yeah.
day 2 of. But hey, Saturday event. He doesn't play that much.
Yeah. Huge shout out to
But
him.
he's always been a good card game player. So, and then I would like to think that he has good resources and mindsets around him too. So that's always great, right? So I knew he was gonna, with the right weapons and then the way he pilots decks, he was gonna be in a good position, and he did great. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, him and Adam, they made that Amber Steel deck. They cooked it up themselves, and they both topped with it. One on Friday, one on Saturday. So
For those of you guys that are not sure who Adam is, it was the one that went triple T
on
on the
stream, yeah,
number one seed.
on the number one seed, yeah, that was him. He was on stream. So
Saucy,
uh,
right? I got to meet Saucy too. That was also
yeah,
another like thing about the good. Meaning some content creators that I never gone to see or just heard of, and then they know me, I know them, and it's like, oh yeah, it's cool. So
yeah.
I met
So
Saucy there. Awesome.
yeah, so huge shout out to our teammates, making top. Do want to shout out Rob. He made top as well. Donald, he was a part. All of like, there's a bunch of us from our group that topped. Donald topped on Friday. Rob topped on Saturday. Yeah, right. I think that was it. I think that might have
Donald
been
also
it.
topped the Donald also topped the sealed event
Oh,
on
Donald also topped Steel
Sunday.
event on Sunday, and Shane also topped on Sunday. So and then like me and I think Karan made top 32 on Friday, I think, and then I made top 32 on Saturday with James. So
Yeah, I made
wasn't
top
like
32 both days.
yeah. Oh yeah, you made top 32 both days. So it wasn't like an amazing show out. Oh no, so you made it. It wasn't Karan that made it on Friday. So it wasn't an amazing, show out, but I'd still say Cali did pretty good. Our group that went both days. So that's pretty cool. Another good thing, I
Also
do
the
want
price
to.
wall.
Huh?
The
The price
price
wall.
wall
Oh yeah,
that
the price was pretty cool.
something that's good to mention. Also something good to mention is even though some of the sponsored players, quote unquote, TCG didn't, the fact that we all went like, you know what, let's bring back deal something, and then we kind of grinded out some side events and like use the tickets that we have from all that. We were able to bring back like what 2 cases of Rangers far back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then you're talking about content creators. I think the only like at least that I recognize content creator that I faced this weekend was Humble. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think I've only faced 2 of them. Karan, it was funny that Karan faced like 3 of them all weekend. Well, he faced 2 of them twice. He faced Zenulus twice, once on Friday, once on Saturday, and then he faced Humble as well. And actually, a lot of our group faced a lot of Maelstrom players. It was I think Shane played Wonderland. Rob also played against Humble, and I think he also played against Zenulus. Oh no, he didn't play against Humble. He played against Zenulus. So that was cool meeting Humble. It's the first time I met him. It's kind of weird when you see someone on screen all the time because I do watch their content and you get to meet them. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean that's all the good. Let's go into the bad.
Didn't you play him?
Huh?
Didn't you play him?
Yeah, I played him. I think we played round. I think it was literally the round after I messed up my run. Yeah, I think it was literally the round after I played him. So I think it was like round 6. We played a Blurpo mirror match. Did he miss turn 2 ramp? I don't remember, but honestly, dude's a great player. I did end up beating him, but I don't want to say it's just because of the draws, but I mean I definitely did draw better than him. I think I opened up the Basil turn 2 ramp, turn 4 like dumb board Genie, and then turn 5 Elsa almost every single time. So it's kind of hard, and then I was on the play, so it's kind of hard to beat that when you kind of have it all. So yeah, I think game 1 was kind of like a non-game, then game 2 was kind of like a non-game on my side, and then game 3 was a little bit closer, but I ended up like I forgot what the turning point was, but I ended up singing second star of the right first, and yeah, it didn't end up going good on his side, but let's go to meet him, But that is the good experience from the weekend. Let's go into a little bit of the bad. For me, as far as my own bad experience that I had, obviously there was a bunch of delays. There was multiple delays. Like on Friday, I think we ended up getting back to the Airbnb we went out to eat, but I think we left the venue at like I think 10 p.m. And if none of these delays would have happened, we probably would have left like at honestly 7 or 8 p.m. So it was almost like 3 hours of delays like that ended up like accumulating. And then obviously, I'm sure most people know our round 2 got deleted. We played round 2. We got paired up. I noticed it right away. I told people, we're all sitting, and then I told them, I said, hey, pairings are up. I said, oh, you know what? Never mind. Let's not even go to our seats because it says round 2 on the top. And so we wait, and then they go on the announcements, and they're like, guys, it says, I know it says round 2. We're aware of the situation, but just go to your seats, and we'll figure this out. So everybody's sitting down. Everyone's all lost. The thing I found bad is the way they were explaining the situation over the mic. Obviously, that's the best way to get the information to the whole tournament. And over the mic, they didn't say, hey, by the way, we're deleting round 2. You're going to basically redo round 2 again. I literally asked my opponent, I said, hey, how'd you do last round? Because I'm showing 0 points because I lost round 1. And he was like, oh, no, my bad. We played round 2. So this was technically, quote unquote, round 3. So I said, how'd you do last round? Because I'm showing 0 points because I had won my round 2. Let's say 2. And let's say the deleted round 2, and then the new round is 2.5. Let's say that. So he's like, oh, I'm X2 technically. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? So I called Judge, and I'm like, hey, Judge, so what's up? Like, my opponent is X2, and I'm 1-1. Like, what's going on? Did I down pair? And he was like, no. And he like tried to sugarcoat it again. I said, so basically, we're gonna pretend like round 2 never existed. And he finally just gave me the straight up answer and was like, yeah. I'm like, that is crazy. So obviously, only benefited one person, or not one, but one side of the tournament, which is everybody that lost round 2. Everybody that lost round 2, they basically got a freebie, a retry, a redo. Everybody that won round 2 basically had to defend their win. Not only that, you didn't get paired into the same person, so you got paired into someone completely different. At least I don't know if that was the case for everybody, but I know for a majority of us, we did get paired into someone different. So
and my round 2 was a stream.
Oh yeah.
So it was funny. They interviewed me and everything. I'm like, oh, so that never happened.
That didn't count anymore. And the people it really, really sucks for are the people that won round 2 and then lost round 2.5. So, that I think that for sure was like the biggest like bad experience of the weekend, at least for me. The rest of the tournament, once that happened, there was a little bit more like 15-30 minute delays after the rounds, but I feel like everything else went pretty smooth after that. For me, I was hearing that people were getting their records were messed up, and then they went to the judge table and then they fixed it, and some people just got, instead of the way they fixed it, they just gave them the bye and stuff, like someone got dropped. Like I was hearing a bunch of stuff, but from my experience, like that was the only bad thing on Friday. Saturday, it was a new experience for me. Like I said, this is my first card game. Round 2, again, for some random reason, our pH went down. It was like a 30-40 minute delay, and they go on the mic and they basically said, we're going paper, boys. So we started doing paper pairings, and then we go.
Shout out Yu-Gi-Oh!
And then they went on like this website and started doing the pairings on the website, and they got our pH back up, and then it went back down, and we just ended up doing it on the other website. But I feel like once they decided to like finish the tournament on the other website, I feel like at that point everything was going smooth again. So to me, my final thoughts on this PPG thing is, people are having speculations that, it was, what's the word? Allegedly, someone messed up and clicked the button they shouldn't have on Friday. That's what they're saying, allegedly. I think if it was literally RPH problem, then I don't think they have much to blame on that end, because they are forced to use this software that Ravensburger is putting on them because they are doing a CCQ, or they're known as a CCQ, and that software is obviously not doing too hot. But as far as how they handled the situation, I think that is entirely PPG's fault. If people were going up and were asking for a refund and to be dropped from the tournament because they were not happy with the experience, then they should have issued them a refund. I get if someone's saying, hey, I want a refund, but I want to keep playing the tournament. I get that point where they're like, probably like, nah, I'm not going to give you a refund and you're going to keep playing. But if you're asking to be dropped and you want your money back, I 100% think they should have honored that. Because at the end of the day, even though it might have not been entirely their fault, they messed something up. And they're kind of being shady, like I said, when they announced it on round 2. But other than that, I heard a lot of people say they've had bad experiences with PPG. I mean, my only experiences with them have been literally all of the DLCs, and I feel like there wasn't. I mean, there's obviously most of the time always delays in DLCs, but I feel like all my experience was fine with them up to basically this point. So that's kind of where I'm gonna end that. Go ahead, James.
For the bad experience, that's kind of the same thing.
Not the ugly experience, but the bad experience.
No, yeah, it's the bad. It's the kind of same thing. It's like, uh, the delays. The round two was a bad experience, but it actually worked out for me because I won the round one, so and the fake round two I actually lost. But then when we went to round 2.5, it was funny. I would have been technically 1-1. So I felt bad for my opponent because they were actually 2-0. They should have been 2-0, but I beat them in the round 2.5. So now they're 1-1 and I'm 2-0. I felt bad for them.
Sorry to cut you off, James. I forgot to mention that round two was also bad, the deleted one, because once again we're talking about it. Literally, basically creates like an alternate timeline of the tournament. So after I did 2.5, I won again, and then my next pairing was Karan, my teammate. So I didn't have to, but the most sense to give us both the chance to still top, we had to do an early ID. That's another thing that kind of sucked. If that round never got deleted, there's a chance I never had paired into him, But I mean, those are what ifs, But yeah.
And then what was it? Oh, it was the Saturday event, the bigger event. When they were having issues again. We went, like Cesar said, we went old school, Yu-Gi-Oh style, paper pairings. They bring the little paper, you sign your name, judge takes it, etc., etc. So I think it was round 4. It must have been round 4 because I would have been 3-1. We go to pairings, and my opponent that I just beat, I see he's seated higher than me, and on the tables, and I'm like, I'm like, I wonder why. I was like, well, maybe he was undefeated, and I paired, he paired down to me. Because at that point there's hundreds of people, so there's like many 3-1s. So I get curious and I sit down with my opponent, and I'm like, hey, bro, do you mind if I just check my records real fast? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. So I'm going, scrolling. And it's on the RPH, right? And it's so hard to like navigate to use. So I have to manually click through like hundreds of people. Hopefully they fix that search option. And I look at my record, it says 2-2, and I'm like, what?
Just to give you a little tip, it's better to search yourself through. I know it shows your name as CardinalYOLO, but it's better to search yourself with your actual name.
No, that's what I did.
Oh, you did that? Because every time I search myself through Zetnus, through the standings, it doesn't pop out. But if I put my name, I always find myself.
No, I did both. It just wasn't having it. I don't know if it was just because of the issues. But yeah, so I go and I'm like, what? 2-2? And then at the same time I'm looking, he got curious, and they actually had him as 2-2 as well. And so I should have been 3-1, and he also should have been 3-1 because he was undefeated, but he lost his last round. And while we were looking, I noticed my opponent from last round just like booking it over to the judges table. And we called judge, and we explained the situation. I'm like, hey, you guys got to stop this round. And we're only 2 minutes in. I'm like, you guys got to stop this round because there's issues. And then they're like, well, that's not going to happen. We got to go to the judges table. So then me and my opponent, we go up. We go over. I saw my opponent from last round. And then randomly Karan comes up. And I'm like, hey, what up? And he is like, oh, I have issues with my reporting. So they looked at it, they corrected it, and I was like, well, you guys got to repair this round because you're throwing off the whole thing, right? The percentages, everything is thrown off. And then we're going back and forth. So I talked to the head judge, and I'm like, I just need you to shoot me straight. I'm like, if you're not going to do it, just let me know. And then that's it. And he's like, he's like, it's too inconvenient. We're going to do it. He's like, sorry for the mistake. I was like, okay, thank you. Right. I just didn't want to be beating around the bush, all that. And so they had me and my opponent that the quote unquote 2-2. They just paired us against each other, but we had our correct records. Um, but I ended up winning that. But it's kind of interesting. Like, what if the opponent was different? I'm more favored, they're more favored, but um, and I know I heard that there's other people that had their records wrong, but they didn't realize it until way later. So something I recommend, always check your standing and then check your records, just in case something's entered wrong. Like even if, like, let's say the RPH is not quote unquote messing up, what if your opponent put it in wrong by accident? It's very easy to misclick, right? Neither of you check, and then everybody just going along with their day. Just check your standings each round.
Yeah,
But that's the bad.
a big
That's the
signifier.
extent of the bad.
A big signifier for that too, like usually notice it, is like if you win and then you go down on tables, you're like, what the heck? Sometimes that just happens because of the win percentages, especially earlier in the rounds. But that's another signifier, right? Like if you're like at table 10 and then you win a round and then you go down to table 25, you're like, what the heck? That's not how it usually works. I usually should keep going up in tables. So that's another good indicator to possibly check your record. But how about you, Hector?
The bad was the tournament, the way it was ran, as in like the system or whatever. It was kind of pretty horrible. There was a redo. Also, round one, like this is bad. That was just a bad weekend day, whatever, for Friday. But round one of Saturday two, it's crazy because we have like 6, 7 bounties. I'm the only bounty that played round one. There was another bounty that I think 2 other bounties that had buys, and every like 4 bounties didn't have an opponent because their opponent didn't show. I
Oh,
lost
yeah.
some.
That's something I forgot to mention. So I'm gonna interject.
So
There was like 30 buys.
I don't like how there's no player meetings because it should be check-ins. Who's gonna get dropped from the tournament? What's the point of all these people doing these tournaments, getting awarded buys, if like 20 other players are gonna end up getting random buys too? And sure, that happens every tournament, apparently, quote unquote, from what I've heard. That happens a lot in these like big tournaments. I know in like Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes and others tournaments but that's why I also liked in DLC the check-ins, making sure everyone gets paired correctly, whatever. That's one thing. But I also obviously the system, it didn't help when they did the misclick or whatever to reset everything, and then they didn't kind of own up to it, and then it kind of reset everything, restart round two. Again, I lost the real round two, and then the fake round two, and then I went to the real round two and I lost anyway, so it doesn't matter. It was a horrible weekend for me, but it kind of sucks for everybody else. Also, I do understand the system and all that, but sometimes us as players don't do anything to help. Like how we said, people got to check the pairings whenever like your opponent, whoever's doing the reporting, check with your opponent. Hey, it's good. It's good. I promise you, some of those errors were not on the system; they were on the players. So that kind of we already know, like, we're not making it any better, guys. So we gotta kind of get on that. But I mean, I like how day two they were prepared and they were having recording data in case someone there was a misclick again, or in case the system was acting up, and and it did act up, but they had the data and they were able to do pairings through the paper pairings and then reporting this and that, and they were able to keep the tournament going. So I do appreciate that because I was, there's something like sometimes these things they get so much hate, and I get it because you paid for the experience to run smoothly. So we are allowed to complain as much as we can, but we also have to notice those little things that they do to make them better. So I definitely noticed that on Saturday, right? Because it didn't happen on Saturday. So, but I mean, it shouldn't happen at all, right? That's the other thing about it. Yeah. So the tournament that's just kind of what was bad about it. And then just I guess my play, as you guys know, I took blue steel, and it was kind of just because I know we're not even talking about the game at all. But so I took blue steel, and then it was rough, man. I had been doing good with allies that didn't perform. I had been going through testing with blue steel tall. That one was okay. Like I didn't do bad. I did drop in like round 6. I think I got eliminated to like round 6 or something like that. Um, but it's not what I thought how well I thought I was gonna do. But yeah, I mean that was my kind of bad on it. But um, also Denver, Colorado is not. Well, we didn't really get to explore, but I heard there's not much to do. And then whatever, I don't know. That was bad for me.
Yeah, to me, I'm like whatever. I actually had a lot of fun. The highlight of my weekend was playing Yahtzee with Dre for like a total of like 16 hours straight, probably. But that was pretty funny. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're hanging out with the people that we don't usually get to hang out to, right? All the
yeah,
time. Like,
yeah. It was cool. So there's that. We will talk about the ugly experience. I'll give my opinions on it, but I had no interaction with any of them, so I'll go ahead and hand it off to. Do you have anything, Hector, or did you have any?
the ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, the Forbidden Mountain got caught cheating, so that's pretty ugly. When a big brand name or a big content creator name I feel like it's looked up to the community and had already been on the sus by some of their players around, right? And they get caught cheating because their four Hades were marked. It's really ugly. It's a really bad taste for the game. I hate it. I definitely want to speak on it. I don't care of like what they have to say or anyone responds or how, because I feel like it's in like there's a integrity that has to go into the game. So I feel like if you're representing a brand like Forbidden Mountain and then you literally get caught cheating when apparently he's had a history before of sus activity, it's definitely sad, right? And I think when people don't realize that when you get caught cheating, like let's say in Top Cut, which is why I think me and Shane talking about it a little bit. In Yu-Gi-Oh they sometimes do random deck checks throughout the Swiss tournaments. Stop waiting for these day two when you're in Top Cut for deck checks. You're in table one and you've been in table one and it's round six. You deck check them. Like there's got to be deck checks along the way. They do that in Yu-Gi-Oh, and we talk back about Yu-Gi-Oh we want. There's some things that they got down. There's some things that Magic got down, and we went over this before. And Ravensburger at this point, which it could be in the policies of the Ravensburger that they have to have in these enforcements and these rules, deck checks, but also in PPG. I'm disappointed in them because they're a brand that's been running for probably a good amount of time. Um, so when someone cheats that late or gets caught cheating that late, I promise you, he didn't just decide day two to start cheating top 16. Every opponent you had, you just disrespected. Like you just slap, like you just can care less. Like I think you literally screwed people pay for these flights, and then you literally just screwed over each opponent that you had by not having fair play. So that's kind of sad. I know it's not everyone from the Forbidden Mountain. There's lovely, amazing guys there in that team, but it's a situation that can happen of like with us our image or every team image. If someone messes up, you know, no one ever really talks about the good stuff. Us as humans, we just love to criticize and talk about the negativity stuff, and that usually sticks longer. So if you do 10 good stuff and do something like this, you'll know you're gonna notice around the 2 weeks was gonna stick more. So it's really ugly to see. I just hope something is done about it. And there's there needs to be like a ban or something because like that's huge. The first CCQ and they get caught cheating. Like, come on, man. There has to be something done. So that was we're in the bad right now, right? Or we're in the ugly. The ugly, right? The ugly too, for me was the situation. I think that happened with James. Um, James being into his last round. He can talk about his perspective and his input. I'm just gonna give my input on it because the podcast is for. I feel like seeing different perspectives is nice. So James was in his last round. Then he could talk about it too more in detail. But James was in his last round. Both opponents couldn't ID. He's facing someone from the Forbidden Mountain, and there was pretty much one clear winner. Like the last play that the guy had was like head so high under the sea, but James was already on 19. and they went to turns. James asked about like was the concessions like can an opponent concede at any time? Judge was like, yeah, you can't ask for a concession, but an opponent can concede at any time. There's like 16. There's like 10 people watching the game. They go into time. It's quiet. The judge is kind of waiting. It's like everyone is expecting card game courtesy. Dude, you lost this game. Give it up. The guy's he makes top 32 if he takes the ID and he gets a box, which is fair. It's fair in that perspective that he'll get $150, right? Over nothing. Card game courtesy, competitive courtesy, you probably some of us competitive pro players say, you just have to give him the win. But he also doesn't have to, right? And he didn't. And that kind of sucked. So it left like a very bad taste in people's mouths. But then James got to do better and not play slow and not let 9 minutes waste by doing moves, because I was watching his games. By not doing moves that can affect that decision and not putting himself in that position. So at the end of the day, there's got to be some sense of accountability. So I think 9 minutes that's exaggeration. It was 6 minutes. But James would have had 6 more minutes at 19 lore. But that was still pretty ugly to witness.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll speak on the what Hector was talking about. Yeah, so it was round 9. I'm 6'2". Yeah, 8. 6'2". We sat down. He has the Forbidden Mountain jersey on. I'll say is that it's the Forbidden Mountain 8. So like me, like I'm pretty friendly, I'm like, hey, how are you? Whatever. We're at top tables. It's been a long day. I actually didn't want to play that day. I played blue green on Friday, and it was just like giving me a headache. But everybody was like, no, you're here, you're playing, you have the bye round 1. And I was like, yeah, okay. We actually rolled the dice on me. I couldn't decide what to play because I didn't want to play anything. So we went Blurple. Like I said, shout out again to Karan. He let me borrow 2 dumbbells. I only have 2. So we're there. I sit down. I'm like, hey, my name is James. Nice to meet you. Yada yada yada. And at first he was very friendly. Like he was like, hey, and then we're talking. And I was like, I know one of you guys are on blue green. Is it you that's playing blue green? He's like, oh, you'll have to find out. And we're like, cool. And then so we go, and I see he is on blue green, right? He inks a green card. I was like, okay, it's blue green. And me playing it, piloting it the day before, and seeing the struggles that Blurple could give me, I used that to my advantage in the play. So game 1, we did go a long time. I obviously, I'm in the game. I know Hector's behind me watching, and other people are watching, right? It's top tables, and our match actually matters because whoever wins is guaranteed to go into top cut. So, it's easier for our outside perspective to see the lines. You're tired, you're in the game. If Hector's saying it, that it's true. There's probably moves I misplayed, and I could have saved time. But I ended up winning game 1. He had 3 lore, right? And it was like a blowout. So we go game 2. It's going back and forth. I noticed the clock, right? We have like 12 minutes, I think. And we're about equal on lore. It's about like 12 lore each. But his board state he's resenting, like it would be it'd be a struggle for me to win. So I just said, oh, let me touch on this. This is what I didn't like. I beat him. His whole personality changed, right? So we shuffle, and I said, okay, you're gonna be on the play, right? No response. Just no response. I'm shuffling, waiting for a response, and obviously, you're the correct thing is you're gonna go first, right? He didn't just say anything, so we're I'm assuming he just goes first, which he does. I was like, cool, right? The whole vibe just changed. We're playing back and forth. At game 2, I asked him, I was like, cards in hand, no response. I asked him again. Um, I said, excuse me, cards in hand. Again, no response. At that point, I got frustrated, and I'm like, cards in hand. And he finally says 2. I said, thank you. Um, so at that point, I got frustrated, which that's a growing thing for me, is not let the opponent affect you. You know, that's something to work on, right? But it's a long day, too. I don't like when people are rude. But again, that's something to work on. For me. So yeah, then we go to game 3. I'm on the play. We're going. I see the time's dwindling down. I'm frustrated with his attitude. So I'm not really talking, and I'm playing fast, right? Trying to go through the lines. We're going back and forth. Um, there's a line, I think Shane told me, where I played a Elsa 5 cost, where I should have just played a Belle just because she quests for 2. Um, so it's little things like that. Like, I shouldn't have been frustrated. I still should play fast, but also not let my frustration like cloud my judgment. So yeah, we're going back and forth. Um, and then we go into turns, and basically by the 4th turn, because the last 5th turn is him, so it ends on him. 4th turn, I have I quest and I'll go to 19 lore. I have a bunch of ink. I have Dumbo on board. Dumbo, Genie, Elsa, Belle, and another character, I believe. So I'm like, cool. We're searching for cards. Oh, Elsa has 1 damage, by the way. That's relevant. Um, so I'm like, cool. We're gonna use Dumbo to search cards. I still get the lore, and I get to search cards because there's 2 outs, right, in that situation. The out I was looking for was a Baymax, right? That would be sick to heal a Baymax off the Elsa for the 1 lore per game. Um, but also the other out is Shift Elsa, right? Shift Elsa in Quest for 3. So Dumbo surged. Um, Elsa Genie searched. I think I had to develop. I also searched with that. Visions would have been like pretty sick. Um, but I searched. I didn't get anything. Um, and so then I'm just kind of stuck. I'm just looking at my cards, frustrated. I'm like, this guy's really gonna do this to me. Like, he's also representing like, a big brand in the community, the Forbidden Mountain. I'm like, with plenty of people around, it had to been like 15 or 20 people watching. And that's when I brought up the thing. I worded you got to choose your words carefully. I just asked the judge, I'm like, Judge, um, can the opponent concede at any time during the match? And he said yes. And he kind of looked over at him, right? And the guy's response was like, I'm okay with the draw, right? Very smug about it too. Um, and then I start slow playing, just because like I'm upset about it. So, and then he tries to call me for slow playing. The guy, he's like, Judge, slow play. And then they're like, James, you have to make a move. I said okay. So I'm just questing. I play out character, whatever. No, I didn't play characters actually. I just quested. I had Bell and Tipo in my hand. Um, and he's like, we're like Hector said. So I passed the turn. He does the wombo combo, right? The hands held high and under the sea. All my guys go under. Um, and he's like, pass, whatever. And then the judge is like, it's not like an immediate like, okay, it's a draw. And he's like this. He's pausing. It's like very quiet. Everybody's just staring. And then he's like, it's like 10-second pause or something. And he's like, well, okay, it's a draw. And there was reactions around for sure. Everybody's like, "Are you serious? You're gonna do that to him?" Cedar, etc. And you know, he has no reason to give me a concession. You know, concede to me. I mean, it's a card game courtesy. You know, um, to me, you know, that's gonna make him look bad in my eyes. You know, if we ever match up again. You know, but you know, karma comes up. He actually paired against Donald in the Swiss and offered to draw into top 8, and he actually bubbled out to ninth. And then he went to the prize wall, and like Hector said, we went and got all the boxes that were left. So there was no Lorcana product for him. I think there was like Hello Kitty and like Gundam for him. So you know that's something to think about. But then I do need to take accountability on my end. Is that you know know when to scoop sooner, uh, and play faster, and then also not let their negativity make me go negative because I did crash out a little bit. I didn't say anything rude, but I did point out. I was like, I went to the notepad. I was like, bro, I'm at 19. You're at 3 lore. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, I can say though that he will not get that courtesy from me. You know, but I do not think we should let like 1 or 3 bad apples uh, affect our view of the Forbidden Mountain because Dick Burns is actually a really nice guy. You know, he came up to me on Friday. He was like, "Hey, I haven't seen you since Seattle, where I top." And he was like, "How are you doing? This and that." And I was like, "Oh, good, good." And he was dressed as like Tweedledee from Alice in Wonderland. So we had a good time, and you know, I touched base with him the next day, and Dan too. Dan's really cool. You know, he's good at casting, all that, and they have a bunch of cool members.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it sucks that you know the guy cheated and top. He got cut and caught cheating, and you know, I hope he gets a ban. You know, it needs to set a precedence. You know, he needs to miss out on DLCs. Absolutely. You know, be like, hey, this is bad. And you know, it sucks because he's a Golden Mickey winner. Now you question the integrity of all his play, right? Did he actually earn that Mickey? You know, or did he cheat? You know, and that's why I don't think it's worth it to cheat. Now your whole character is questioned in the game, right? I also want to touch base. Ethan's not here to speak on it. One of their members um, tried to cheat against him. I don't know the name, um, but so the guy goes alter 6, right? And he draws the next card, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Actually, I'll do 7." And I don't know if Ethan called judge or not. I can't remember, but you know, the fact that they try to pull that off, you know, that is not how that works. So, uh, don't be afraid to call judge. I need to do it. I should have called judge slow play on my that Forbidden Mountain Nate because he was slow playing. Um, that's something I'm going to work on as well. Like I'm not afraid to call judge on like decisions, but I need to be more aware of um, calling out slow play on the opponents or like when opponents are being rude to you. You know, because I've had opponents where they curse at me and all that, but I already beat them. So, but no, that stuff shouldn't be in the game, especially when it's a game about like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. You know, like are we really getting that mad over like like Disney characters, right? But that's my whole thing for the ugly.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't come across any of them. I didn't talk to any of them. I don't think I've ever even talked to any of them. But I agree with what Hector said. Like getting caught cheating like that, especially in the top cut, like just because you caught him in the top cut, like doesn't that just means he got caught cheating there. That doesn't mean he didn't cheat the rest of the tournament. And like Hector said, like someone that was playing fair and sincere, you just took them out of that spot when maybe they deserved it more because they were playing fair and they were actually playing good, but they lost because that person cheated. So I completely agree with that part. And then like James is saying, like I think he played Continentals. I think he has won a Golden Mickey and all that. So like now you question all that. Like was his play actually sincere at those moments, or were they also cheating? And like there's no way to to know, right? And if you're caught a cheater, one, I mean, it's going around in the socials that he's been cheating at set champs, that he's been cheating, he's been caught cheating at set champs. I think he got caught cheating at one of the DLCs too. Like, even regardless if you have that prior experience, like if you get caught cheating once, that means you probably have done it in the past, even if you haven't got caught. So it just means that it's the first time you got caught. So I mean, yeah, it's a sucky thing. Like they said, they're very well known content creators. Doesn't mean they're all bad, but I do think they need to speak on it. I saw a post somewhere, I think it's on Facebook, that someone was talking about the situation. They're asking for some kind of words from TFM, and I think someone else commented saying that basically it's under investigation and no parties, and they stopped the comments on that post. But I think TFM should respond quickly, and the longer they take to respond, it's gonna look worse for them. Especially because I think 2 of them made day 2 on Saturday. So you kind of, at this point, you kind of start questioning the whole team, right? Like, even if they're good people, like, you basically start questioning the whole team. Like, are they all cheating? You know, how many times have they cheated? So it is a really rough look on them. And if, like I said, the longer you take to respond to this thing, the worse it's gonna look. About James' whole situation, I mean, I don't know how it works in other card games. I've never played them, but the turns thing to me is so dumb, especially like in James' situation, where if one opponent, and I've been in the same situation, but like if one opponent is like the clear winner, then I do think like just courtesy, like you knew you lost, like you know you're gonna lose. Like if there was one more turn, even one more minute, and then we go into turns, like the way the game's shaping out, like you knew you were gonna lose. Like you should just give the win. I disagree in the part where, and this is where I disagree with a lot of people, is like because then in my opinion it messes up, it goes back to messing up the timeline, right? Like in my opinion, if it does go into a draw and it's because no one was like a clear indicator winner, like it was still like kind of look 50-50, then at that point I get upset when someone gives the win, because I'm like, you're messing up other people that finished the game because you guys actually went into time and there was no clear winner there. I get in James' situation, it did look like James was gonna 100% win if there's more time. So I do think like at that point you're screwing someone out of a win, when if there is even a little bit more time you would have lost. I 100% agree there, but like when it's like a 50-50, like it's not known, like obviously you're going to be nice to your opponent, so you give it to them, but at that point in my eyes you're screwing out someone else that actually played the game right, played it fast in a fast pace, and finished the games and actually got the win deservingly. I think you're screwing them out. I think this situation is different, like from what I hear and see, because I walked away after his round 2 because I figured they're going to go into time. It sounded like James was going to be a clear winner, and I do agree that the guy should have gave him the win, especially for something like they said. Like you guys might know who I'm talking about, but I don't want to put his name on blast because I really like the guy. But in my Continentals on my last round, I was asked if I wanted to do, the best of 1 basically. I don't know if he thinks, I don't think so, because he still talks to me, but I don't think if he thinks I'm a dick for saying no, but I said no. But at that point, I think it's a little bit different. I get him because he's like, I also would have wanted the same thing, but I also didn't want to walk away with anything. And at this point, I wasn't walking away with the box, $100. I was walking away with $3,000 if we split, right? It's either I split and I get like $2-3,000, or I win and I make day 2 of Continentals, or I lose and I get nothing. Like, I know that person really wanted the World's invite, and that's why he was willing to do it, but I also like didn't want to walk away with nothing. And I guess it's the same situation, but I feel like at that point the stakes, and I want to talk about it because I don't want to seem hypocritical. Like at that point, I feel like the stakes were a little bit higher. It's not just a box, $100. You know, it's almost $3,000. In some sense, I mean, if you want to talk about it, like in a sense, if I didn't take that, it's like I'm saying no to 1 month of free rent. So that's how I kind of saw it. But when it's like such low stakes of one box, like I mean, I don't know, everyone's financial things are different, but um, one box doesn't seem like a lot to, you know, screw over someone that was gonna win if they just had a couple more turns. So yeah, I mean, I'm one of the people that disagreed with the gentleman's agreement on the best of two format, so it's kind of hard for me to say on this, but yeah, I do 100%. I've told James many times he needs to work on a lot of things, accountability for one, and there's moments that even when I was watching, because I finished my match and I booked it over there because I figured I was gonna bubble out because I was on like table 20 and he was also an X2, but he was on table 8, so it's more than likely he gets in if he does win. So I went to go watch him, and from the moment I was watching him, like I feel like once again, like when you're in the game, like you're more stressed out than us watching. But I do think there was multiple misplays that he needs to take accountability for that. Like if you were playing clean and you're playing perfect, you probably would have won that even faster, and you probably shouldn't have even lost that game too. Like it shouldn't have went to game 3 in my opinion. And that's where I'm talking about the accountability. And then even then, I heard that on game 3, he made a misplay because I had stopped watching, but other good players were watching him that I know, and they also said that he made a misplay that he still probably could have won even in turns. So that's the accountability I'm talking about. Like you can't just put the full blame on the other person if there's something in your control that you could have done to still get that win. I get the like negative aspect of the opponent, but not talking about him or giving him a defense. But we gotta put ourselves in the positions when we have lost, especially like a high stakes match like that. Like you're always gonna get bummed out. You're always gonna give a little bit of attitude, especially like losing game 1. Like most of the time, you know, you lose game 1, and most of the time, like that already brings you down, especially if you're like at a big stakes like this. So I do think you need to stop letting people get to you, because that's gonna bring your own mental down too. You can't be upset for someone getting upset, especially after they lost game 1 on a winning end to possibly make $2,000 the next day, you know. So but
I think that. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I think the issue was like me personally, I will say it because I don't want to seem hypocritical either. That I wouldn't have given James the win either. And I'm talking about if I'm a stranger, like if I don't know James, because like sometimes there's situations where your teammate,
Yeah,
you don't know if they're bubbles or you don't know like what can be in or what are the forbidden mountains. This and that can end up being an eighth, possibly, even though if you do take that ID or there's certain areas that happen. I walk with the box. I'm sorry, but I don't know you, so why do I really necessarily care what you
yeah,
get, right? I think there's a scenario where there's like if I notice my opponent did not slow play, if I notice my opponent did everything in the effort and that, and I got outplayed, you know, like there's a lot of scenarios like that, and then that's a little bit different to like consider think about, right? I think the more issue was like with how he was about it. What James said was kind of mentioning that, like how his persona and like how he was kind of being his attitude about it was pretty bad. But like I said, I the guy doesn't have to give nobody the win,
yeah.
so
I
that's
agree.
still how I feel about that. And then also when I heard like I was like, James, you had 6 minutes. And then I hear from Donald, oh, he could have done this and that. And then I hear from you, oh, he should have gotten game 2 anyway. And then in game 3, Rob, oh, he missed it. So if I hear from 5 different people, 5 different things that he could have done differently, it happens. We just got to be able to clutch up in those moments. All of us, right? I've been in those scenarios where like high intensity gameplay and I make a misplay and it costs me the game and it sucks. And I've been in those situations where I end up IDing or I end up in draws. My draw was into purple steel on that Saturday tournament that then led me to start facing all these bad matchups, and it was my fault because I should have probably played faster. I mean, all 3 games were grinds, but it's like something that I don't know. Like, there's got to be something that could have been done differently. That I have to look back. I was as butthurt as I was of taking that ID at the end of the day, he's walking away with the win. I'm walking away with the loss, right? It was blue steel into purple steel. So, but it's just that's my kind of take on it. I just wanted to be able to give a fair side to both stories, but it was still kind of sucks the situation that happened, right?
Yeah,
But I think the
I,
more I think it's like it's been all Forbidden Mountain. Like it's been all Forbidden Mountain. I think that's just kind of a big red flag, a big eye opening to a lot of people because we have the cheating scenario, and then we have specifically this scenario that happened that just attitude, right? Like if you're a big brand like this and that, like I think the way you like if you're wearing a brand, then you're representing that brand. So like, does is your brand mean being a dick? Then that's what you want to be your brand to be. And excuse me for my language. I mean I hope you guys could respect that because like if the guy's being in whatever, like a certain way, then that's what is being represented. Wearing a Top Choice Gaming jersey, and I'm going off on someone or I'm being a big old whatever, then that's what I'm representing. That's Top Choice. What Top Choice is doing, right? So then exactly what they represented, and it leaves a really bad taste in people's mouths, right?
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that's definitely what's amplifying everything is just all the things together, like right, like especially us, just like within our group, like Ethan, caught one of them, that's literally cheating. Like you say six, you see that the card on top, the seventh card is beneficial to you, and now you say, oh, I want to mull seven, like that's cheating.
And I don't know how many people are gonna watch this, but I think the fact that there's gonna be the big thing in the scandal, and then we're giving two different takes that happened to us in our weekend, and it's from the same team.
Yeah, obviously
And
James with that, and then obviously we weren't involved with Nunes, but the marked cards, like it's just three different scenarios, at least in our small group, that occurred. Well, the Nunes thing didn't occur to us, but obviously that one was made known. But the other two were an all smart group, 10 of us, that occurred over the weekend with TFM. It sucks. Like I said, no, I've never talked to Dan. I've seen interactions with Mr. Burns. Um,
Burns
amongst
is a
other,
great guy too,
yeah,
and Dan is cool. I give him, Dan a hug. Hey man, I love your content. This and that. Like we were talking about, it sucks, man. Like you said, the bad apples, right? It's like one bad apple makes the whole tree look sometimes not attractive.
yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, enough about that.
Are you good,
I,
James?
I,
Anything like words? I know you kind of.
Um, anything else on it?
Or anything about me and Caesar's take? I don't know.
For that, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, for sure the play, but like it's like I said and Caesar said, like when you're in there, it's different than observing, right? But I talked to some of the judges, and it goes back to I should have called judge on him when he was being unsportsmanlike,
yeah.
and then also when he was slow playing, because I actually talked to randomly too. Um, I talked to his opponent prior to me because he told me that he already had a draw. Um, and I was over at the prize ball, and I was talking to some guy. Because Karan had beat him. He was sitting next to us. I was like, "Oh yeah, you faced against Karan, and he got you on that one." And then he's like, "Yeah, and I drew with this guy from Forbidden Mountain." Um, and then he was just talking about you over there with his group of his friends, complaining. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "Yeah, that guy was a jerk to me. I guess he told me during their match he went to do your welcome to a bell he had on there. So the guy puts the bell on top of the deck, and he's like, "Oh wait, actually I want to do it on the Dumbo." And he's like, "Well, you already chose the bell." And he's like, "Yeah, but you haven't shuffled." And he's like, "Well, you chose it." And
It
he's
doesn't
like,
matter. Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, call a judge then, right? The Forbidden Mountain 8 guy." And then he was like, "Okay." So they call the judge, and I guess they talk, and then he tells the judge like, "Okay, well, I don't care about the judge tells him like, no, it's the bell." And then he's like, "Well, I don't care what you say. Go for the." He's like, "I'm appealing." And so eventually they go to whoever the higher judge is, and they give him the same ruling, right? They weren't gonna not change it. It's stuff like that. Like you're in like it. This is a competitive scene. It's a professional level event. You're representing a brand. You know, people make mistakes. And you got to look at like, especially a big brand like the Forbidden Mountain. Um, as far as the Lorcana community, you got to take a look and be like, okay, is it worth doing this? Like that, like in our match, there's people around, they're watching, I'm clearly the winner. I would bet everything in my life. If you give me one more minute, I win that match. no matter what, right? Um,
But you could
now
have
what's
given
more?
yourself 6 more minutes.
Yes, I agree, but
Again, I think
All
it's
right,
embarrassing how
let's say if it was on time, James would a 99% of the chance, 99% would have won that.
100%,
Yeah,
100%. I'll bet everything in my life, 100%. That's
yeah.
how the differential is. He had no card. I mean, he might have one card in hand. I had a Tipo Bell. We looked at my next card I drew is develop. I go develop and to et cetera,
I mean,
right?
we literally do poker rates, and like James had a 98% chance of win
Yeah,
rate to his 2.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what the pricing was, a box or something, which he ended up not being able to get anyway. Shout out Donald. But
Well,
was the box worth it?
he probably got a box that day, and
And
then
he got
like he
another
was gonna
box.
get
Yeah,
another.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, so was the box worth? Now people saw this guy. They're talking about, well, look what
But
he
we're
did.
not
Like no
at
courtesy.
that point. No, I think the thing is, you didn't
And
beat
then
me.
just like the way that he was during the match as well.
Yes,
That's the
there
more
you go.
important thing to
That's
me.
what we can talk
That's
about,
what really
right?
made me mad was that the way he acted, you know.
Because
And
if I'm still playing
again,
for pricing, and then I get a pricing if I ID, I know I can't beat you. I can't get top 16. But if we ID, I still get top 32, and I get a box. I'm gonna be friendly to you all game. Other than that, I'm gonna walk with a smile and be like, "We're IDing. You didn't
Yeah,
beat me,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
and you
that's more
can't be mad about
respectful.
that." But what we're saying, I get that's respectful, right? It's the way you do it. It's like
Yeah.
going
And
a
then the
little
fact
smug.
that
I'm good with an
the
ID
fact
and do
that he
like a
was
little smug and all that.
very
That's that.
smug, very
Yeah,
smug
yeah,
too
that's
about it.
respect.
I just want to mention one more
Um,
thing about like what you just said about the you're welcome thing, guys. And I don't want to put any of us on blast because obviously we have our own things too, like the things we talk about on private. But guys, integrity is a big thing. Like me as myself, I made a misplay round 5, whatever 6, that basically cost me my tournament. Could I have asked to get it taken back? Probably. Would that person have said yes? Maybe. But I got to think about it in myself. If someone were to do that to me and they asked to take it back, would I have let them? No. So why would me as myself even ask? That is hypocritical and that is my integrity. So
Respect.
did I notice that I would have lost that game because of that ink decision? I did. Could I have asked? Yeah. Might have that person said yes? Possibly. But I don't want to put that person, one, because it makes it awkward. Two, because you don't want to be the D word and be like, no. And me myself as a
Yeah,
competitive
I agree.
player, I know the environment I'm in. I messed up. Let go of my card. I said I inked this card and I let go, and then I realized that I messed up. That ink decision is made, in my opinion. If I call judge, they're gonna go with that ruling. So why would I even ask? And if someone did the same thing to me, I'm not gonna give it to them in a competitive environment. We're talking about set champs. Maybe I'll give it to them, like but in a high DLC level, PPG event, CCQ, and stuff like that, I'm not gonna let someone take it back. Someone swing a card at my thing. I forgot who it was. I think it was round 1. They swing their Baymax into my Hades. I looked at them. I saw they committed. They got their dice. They put their damage. I got my dice. I put my damage. She's like, "Oh, it's dead." And I said, "No." And he's like, "Oh." He didn't ask to take it back. I'm sure he wanted me to be like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll take it back." I'm not gonna do it. Like, I don't want to be a D word, but we're in a competitive environment. Like, these are things you got to be paying attention to. If I did the same thing, I would also just be like, "Damn, I messed up," and I'm not gonna ask for a take back because I'm a competitive player. I'm not gonna do it. So if you're not gonna if you wouldn't be willing to do it for someone, don't even ask. Don't even try to get it because now you're being hypocritical and you're trying to take advantage of that person's I guess kindness, right? So
Yeah, that is fair.
so I just want to put that out because I didn't know about that too, and that right there pisses me off. Like I'm sure he knows that if he were to try to pull, if someone were to have tried to pull that on him, he wouldn't have allowed it, not even a second. So like that right there actually ticks me off quite a bit because like if you wouldn't allow someone else to do it, why would you even attempt to get
Right.
like play with
Yeah.
someone's
Those
kindness?
little
Yeah,
edges of
yeah,
like,
play with someone's kindness. Like that to me is messed up. So yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but anyways, we are a couple of us have to go to work in a bit, so we'll cut this off. But hopefully, we hear something from TFM. I do hope something gets done about all these players addressed. Kicked off the team, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what their solution is. I would assume they should kick them off because, like Hector said, now they're representing the band. Now obviously we don't want to think that way about the good ones, Dan, Burns, the other ones, but now they're all gonna. I'm sure in people's heads now they're all getting questioned if they're cheaters, you know, and I don't think they want that for their team. So I think that would be the best solution. And I do deserve. I think they deserve bans. I was just reading online once again. Don't know how true it is. I don't take everything for truth, but someone said like, oh, the Riftbound tournament that just happened, someone got caught drawing extra cards. They got a 1-year ban.
And you know what? Actually, you know what pisses me off right now? I kind of just thought about it. I want to apologize to some of our viewers because of this things like this that we have to talk about because I think they're important to talk about in the game. Now we didn't give you 1 hour of Lorcana content, things that we should be talking about, and that actually pisses me off because like we this whole time we could be talking about deck lists, who got first. Hey,
Oh
shout
yeah,
out
we
to
didn't
you,
talk
Sky.
about shout out to Sky.
We
Yeah,
haven't even
yeah, my
talked
bad.
about you for like
Yeah,
2 minutes, but it's still things that we have to talk about. You know, for all we know, some people like it's the probably I'm it's gonna be the most like maybe like hated episode that I'm gonna hate to watch.
Yeah,
But it's something that has to be done, has to be talked
and
about. Because these things are a part of the game and they're huge. But when these things take over the game, that's when it gets the ugly, which is why we're talking about the ugly part, which prevents us from talking about well the things we love to do, which is play the game.
yeah, and it takes away from people's
So,
accomplishments, like you just said, Sky. We didn't even
so
talk. We
I
didn't
know
even mention
some.
it to him, and then same thing happened with DKP, right? DKP, something happened. He won whatever that place was. I forgot what the place was. He won that tournament, but because of the whole shark scandal with the
French,
shark,
the
yeah,
broom and this and that,
yeah,
taking that.
no
Yeah,
one,
all
no
that,
one,
man.
literally, no one congratulated him. Basically, like he was overlooked by this controversy, and that is also not fair to that player that got a huge accomplishment. Like these things suck, man. These things.
Some of you guys don't. Some of you guys, it's fair. I don't care nothing about this. I don't know. I'm a casual. I watch it for you guys' content, the deck list, and all you guys talk about the game. So I apologize to those viewers, but I think there's a big important thing that needed to be discussed because it's part of the game that people have to watch out for, and be aware of. And it's our experience of that tournament, and it got overlooked. But here we are. It sucks.
So to close it out, we will talk about the upcoming tournaments where we like to go in case you guys want to catch us or see us or tell us what's up or even play against us. This weekend we have the money pot. I'm 99% sure I'm not gonna go to it. That's at TCG. It's Lorcana France money pot. Guys, go give her support. She's doing a lot for the community. She's amazing. And then obviously Top Choice is helping.
It's
helping her.
2K guaranteed, by the
Yeah.
way, guys. Don't be afraid of the attendance and all that. No matter what it is, will be 2K guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say there's 8 players going only. Obviously not. But there's gonna be more. But I'm saying no matter what, don't be afraid of. Oh, is there the tournament's even gonna run? Or is there even gonna keep the pricing? It's 2K guaranteed. That's pretty cool.
So that's Sunday. I don't know what time. Hopefully, whoever edits this video can blow it up on the screen right there. Oh, if you guys, we could also blow up that TCG, and I think we took a picture of everybody on Friday. We could put these on screen too if we could get them.
Speaking of
Just to
that,
see a
did you
picture.
make I think you made an account, right? I think both me and Cesar. I mean, I don't know. I think you did, but I made an Instagram account now, guys. So I mean, I was gonna talk about my 24K channel, but I finally, because all you guys, my main account started becoming a Lorcana account. So I was like, you know what? I need to make a Lorcana account because I just need to, and then it's been needed. Apparently, you need an Instagram and you need stickers if you want to be a content creator in Lorcana. That's the thing I noticed.
I did also
I
make a.
gotta do it.
Yeah, I also did make an Instagram account just because I felt bad because I wasn't adding certain people that were adding my primary account. The ones where I post everything, and I didn't want to add them because like
it's different.
It is
right?
different.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is different. And it's not that I didn't want to add them just because I don't like them or anything. It's just it is a different part of my life, and I'm not gonna really post anything Lorcana on that side of like my actual account, right? So I did make one. That way I can post, like even on my own account, like I didn't post the picture when I wanted the Mickey Mouse, because that's to me that's a different part. So I did make one. I think I just named it TCG Zetnus. If you guys want to follow, but yeah, like Hector said, and I'm not really into the content creation, but I do want to add like all these people that I meet and are trying to talk to me and stuff, and I want to give them like a place to reach out to me if they want to talk and stuff like
We
that.
have a Lorcana social life, so we need a literally a social media account for a social life. Like it's just normal.
So Money Pot this Sunday, guys. Please give them support. Obviously, we got upcoming set champs that we're going to be attending to. We'll talk about it on the next week episode on which ones we're going to exactly, in case you guys want to go beat us or just hang out with us. I think a majority of us are going to Milwaukee, and then we got SCG Vegas in November, that will be the new set that we are more than likely going to attend. These are the events that we're planning to, like, at least 90% chance attend all of these. And then I do want to mention one shout out to them, because when we went over there, it was a cool experience. I think Arizona's hosting a 2K, a 5K, where we went last time, the Glendale, Arizona, I think it was. I forgot how much they're hosting, but I think that might be this weekend as well, or maybe next weekend.
It's coming up during one of these weekends.
Yeah, it's coming out. We can put the flyer on here too, because honestly, we got to promote these things, because like I said, the biggest tournament we've had so far was the one that TCG hosted for Continentals, and now the Anaheim, what was it, 6K, and we need more of these events out here, you know. So that's all I got. You guys have any final thoughts?
I still had a great interaction with a lot of people, even though we said these battles. But all the Blue Steel players I met, it was cool. I was talking to some people. Then I was watching someone's like I forgot what her name was, but she was playing Allies, and then out of nowhere she was playing Blurple, and it was looking rough. But I had to go to my winner box or whatever. And I think she was in finals, and then she came back later. It was like, oh, I won, by the way. Past Allies. So that was awesome. Seeing Allies take down Blurple in the finals of the winner box and stuff like that. It was cool seeing like some of you guys, and then be able to take some pictures and all that good stuff. Shout out to you, Cassie, too, as well. You were great. You're one that I very felt you were working PPG. You and Phil, I felt were very. I could feel that you guys felt bad about the things that were going on around you guys, that you guys had no control over, and you were just great all weekend. You put me in a position that I was even bounty and being be able to kind of put me out there. So, thank you, Cassie. I know you're probably gonna watch this podcast, so you did a great job. But things happen.
I agree.
Things will always happen.
Yeah. James, got anything?
No. That's it, pretty much.
For sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I know I don't put myself out a lot there, and but I would like to take a bounty player. I mean,
thank you.
I'll take that up.
Thank you, Top Choice Gaming. By the way, you guys were able to let me borrow a lot of the cards, and it was never put to a position where if I needed to switch decks or needed to switch cards from my decks, it was out there. So I wanted to give that definitely a shout out, because again, you guys making the journey possible. So
100%. So
descriptions, our Instagram will probably be in the description, so that way you guys can just go to the description of this video and then just click on our Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. So once again, guys, thank you for everyone I played against, everyone I had an interaction with. I have a terrible memory and I forget people's names all the time, but honestly, the majority of this time, or playing this game, like, you just meet a bunch of wonderful people. Everyone, 90% of the time, is nice, very friendly. So I want to thank to everyone I played. Hopefully I didn't give anyone any bad vibes. If I lost, I try to control that myself. Yeah, I appreciate every interaction we had this weekend. I know I talked to a couple people that were like, oh yeah, you're from Cali and this and that, and I know I had some that were like, oh yeah, we actually watched the cookout and stuff. So we're tiny, but we still get some people that recognize us sometimes, so that's pretty cool. But thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll try to get better at looking at the comments again. I just looked at the last video's comments and I realized that we didn't respond to any of them, and I kind of feel bad, because I actually, at least me, I'm sure all of us, I actually do want you guys to comment, so we can have kind of like the podcast, like a little spilled ink section. We'll call it our own thing, where we talk about what you guys want. I know. Who asked me? Someone had asked me about Blue Steel or whatever, or no, it was a Blurple. Someone asked me like, hey, what do you think about this Blurple thing? And I said, dude, I just picked it up on Friday. I said, but if you want like our takes on what you can do to beat Amber Steel in your local meta, like you could put it in the spilled ink and then we'll talk about it. We got Hector that's been playing Blurple for like 2-3 sets, and we could all kind of give our opinion on it right here, right? So that's kind of what that comment section is for. If you guys want, hey, Blue Steel, I'm having trouble, this and that, what kind of cards do you think I should put in my deck to help counter that? That's what we can talk about. And if a viewer is the one that's asking, obviously we'll want to give you guys that information. So please do that. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for this honestly kind of I guess not sad episode, but like the mood a little bit on the other side. But we appreciate the support. We thank you guys for watching. Keep on cooking and keep on questing. Peace.